Hey all friends on YouTube, and welcome here to Six Wheels Down. Today is August 30th and my name is Thorkild Brunsnaes. Today is a very big day for me because it's time to raise both the American and the Danish flag here, because yesterday I actually bought a new motorcycle, and it ended up with the model called Harley Davidson, the Iron 883 2021 model. So I'm very excited about it, and I would like to show you the motorcycle and give you some good pictures of it, a little riding experience, and also try to go over some of the specs of the motorcycle. So enjoy the video.
Well, this is my new motorcycle that I just bought yesterday. I decided to go with a Sportster. It's the one called Harley Davidson 883. It also has the nickname the Iron. I really like that motorcycle. It's a very down to the core motorcycle without all these extra accessories, so it's like pure riding pleasure. I did test ride it a few weeks ago, and I was very convinced after that would be the one. I really liked it in every way. But it's a beautiful bike. I think it's a bike that has been on the market, this model, for many years. I think more than 20 years. So it's very well tested, and it just drives great. It's a V engine, 2-cylinder, with a 5-speed transmission. So let's try to take it for a spin. One of the good things is that the seating height is pretty low, so it's pretty easy also here to push it backwards, because it's easy to flat-foot it, and that makes moving it around very, very nice and very comfortable. I just did mounted a phone holder and a USB charging port for the phone here, so I can have the camera control and the navigation on. That was pretty easy. Also put two swing arm bags in the rear, so I have the option to bring something to drink and have my camera gear and so on. It has a good sound, and I have to get used to that the turn signals, they are automatic cancelling, so that was one of these things I kept forgetting on the other one, the Kawasaki I had, that you had to cancel the turn signals all the time. But it's a typical Harley Davidson in the sound. It has the good 2-cylinder V sound. It's an 883cc engine, so it's one of the smaller engines that Harley Davidson makes. They have some way bigger ones, but after having ridden it around a bit, I would say it's plenty for this motorcycle here. If you look at the gauge here in the center, you can see it's showing your speed, and there's a little digital display down in the bottom. Right now it shows I've driven 66 miles on it since new, and over here there's a toggle switch, so you can switch, so you have a distance A here and you have a distance B where you can do a trip counter, and you have the time there. I have to set that, and Then the last here is it can show which gear you're in and also the RPMs for the motorcycle. I don't think I will use that very much because it's very intuitive what gear you're in. So there's really no need to keep an eye on it. I felt that more with the Kawasaki. It took so high RPMs and it could sometimes be hard to judge which gear you were actually in. With this one here, you progress in the gear upwards and downwards again, and it's pretty intuitive, so there's really no need for showing the gear. So here was a railroad crossing that is really bumpy. So let's talk a bit about the suspension now we're at it. I think the suspension is fairly good. It is a cruiser style bike, so of course it has a pretty short stroke length on the suspension in the rear. So if you really hit a railroad crossing like this hard, I would suppose that you could max it out. But so far I haven't, and I've taken it on a trip earlier today, and I didn't seem to max the suspension out at any point. It works really well. So I would say all in all the suspension is comfortable and really nice. Over here you of course have the long beam and the short beam, and you have the signal if you want to do that. Use your headlight before you pass another car or something. And then you have the left turn here, and over in the other side you have the right turn as well. You have the kill switch here, and you turn it on again, then you can start, and here is the button you started on. You also have the triangle here where you can put all your signal lights on in case you have an emergency. The dashboard is very clean, I think. There's not much there, but there's everything you need. It works extremely well. And what I really like is when I have to record video, you have a very clear view here in front. There's nothing obstructing the view. The mirrors are not so long, and that means when I sit on the bike and go down the highway and just look in the mirrors, I will mainly see my own arms or shoulders. I have adjusted it as much as I can to try to avoid it, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I just put the arm in a little bit and I have a clear view, so it's really no big deal. I have seen some people turn them around and have the mirrors down here. That's an option, and I might do that, but I would say so far works great. The fuel tank on this machine is a 3.3 gallon, and with a fuel consumption is listed to about 52 miles per gallon. So it should give me a little bit more than 150 miles as range, which I think is pretty good. I don't foresee that there are many places where you won't see a gas station within 150 miles. But I will say though, I purchased two small triangular swing arm bags to mount here in the rear of the bike, and I bought those that has like a holder for a fuel bottle. So I have that in each side, so if I need to go on a very long trip, several hundred miles, it won't happen that often, but if I have to, then of course I can bring a few bottles of fuel just in case. So it's just a nice little safety thing to have. Gear shifting, you could probably already hear it here. It is very nice, very precise gear shifting, and it gives you a very good response. You have this click sound every time you shift the gear, both up and down. It's a very significant click, so you're not in doubt when you got your bike in gear. and I think that's really awesome. That's just one of these things that makes it nice to drive. The transmission here on this motorcycle is a 5-speed transmission, and I would say it's a bike you will typically go 60, 65 at the highest, even on the freeway, because it's open in the front, so most likely it's not one you will race with 80 miles per hour or something like that. That means the 5-speed transmission really works well with the engine size. It seems like the whole motorcycle is just so well balanced, and that's one of the things I fell for. It's not like you get a ton of accessories with it. It was just the feeling of what you have. It simply just seems like almost perfect balance. You can feel it's a motorcycle that's been produced for 20 years or more, because it seems like everything is really just nice on it. A lot of the bugs and errors that comes on new bikes, they're gone on this one. Compared to my Kawasaki Ninja I had before, I would say this is a much heavier motorcycle. I think it weighs in just around 600 pounds, where I was 350 or 60 on the Ninja. And you really feel the difference, especially with the wind. When you're out driving here in the open, you can clearly tell that it's a heavier machine. It stays better on the road, even though it's a fully open bike in the front. The price point on this machine here is perhaps something to talk about as well. It is a bit of the entry level for Harley Davidson, and I think they have priced it really well. They sell it for around $11,000 US, all inclusive. And when I look at what the value you get for $11,000, I think it's pretty amazing. It's a motorcycle you can keep for a lot of years, and that you don't necessarily grow out of. It's just a super nice bike, and to get it at that price tag, I think is really reasonable. And of course, that's another nice thing with these open motorcycles with no windshield here. You get the wind and you feel the wind when you're driving, which can be really nice on a hot day like this. Then I would like to talk a bit about the seat on this motorcycle. The seat has like a curved shape down on the side, which I think makes the seat extremely comfortable. I feel it's a seat I could drive on for hours. To me it's soft enough for that, and so far it had 6 miles on it when I picked it up, and I'm now 66, so I drove 60 miles on it here earlier today, and I didn't even feel it. It was just a pleasure. It's very windy out here today. I don't know if you can hear it in my helmet, but if you see the steering handle and everything, it's so calm. I can feel on my body how the wind is pounding, but the bike itself is solid as a rock. The bike here is a single-seater when you buy it from the store, but it is possible to put a seat and backrest on the rear fender. You can do that. I will not do that because I don't think that looks good on this bike here. It looks better as a single-seater, and Nicole, my wife, she has her own motorcycle. She likes to drive herself, so I don't ever foresee her sit on the back of this bike here. I think instead I might buy a throw-over saddlebag for longer trips, and if we go on longer trips up to the mountains, it might be nice with some large sized saddlebags where you can bring rain gear and an extra jacket and so on. So I think that might be an option that I will do that. But the good thing about this motorcycle here as well is that it's been on the market for so long. Of course I have modernized it every year, but there are so many aftermarket parts for it. When I searched on Amazon here yesterday, I was surprised. You can get everything you can dream of. It's everything from engine upgrade kits. You can do stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 tuning of this bike, which includes everything from changing the exhaust pipe, the air filters, and get it chip tuned with the fuel unit. You can upgrade the cylinders and the cylinder heads. You can upgrade the camshafts. It has everything you can dream of. You can get everything in USB chargers, phone holders. They have everything for this bike here. And that's a nice thing, because it means this is a motorcycle you can customize just as much as you like. You can get everything you can dream of for it, and it's cheap. And see, what I like is, just like now cruising on this one here, it is incredibly comfortable. Even though it's a windy day, you can see I can sit with one hand. There's no surprises. It's not getting blown all over the place. It's just gold to drive. I would say from the moment I test drove this motorcycle, when I sat down on it and started rolling, it was like just feeling home on a motorcycle. I've never tried to sit on or drive any motorcycle where I just felt it was like so spot on, so good. Well, but let's take a little walk around the motorcycle here. It has some nice headlights, halogen headlights. It's not the new LED style, but it actually gives a really good light, so I see no reason to change it out. You can see the 883 V2 engine and a 5-speed transmission underneath. Here's the curved seat I told you about, and what I like here is this curvature it has right there. It simply makes it so comfortable to sit on, and I think the padding is good on it, so for me that's really a nice seat to ride on. These are the saddlebags that I installed today. It's what's called swing arm bags, and you can see here in the rear it has a holder for a fuel bottle. It comes stock with 2 Vans and Hines exhaust pipes. I really like them. They sound good, and I also think they look good with a motorcycle. This bike here is not the typical Harley where there's tons of chrome. This one here is made in a style they call it blackout, where they have tried to make all parts black, and that goes for the exhaust pipe as well. I think the whole thing is so harmonic. I think the design of this bike is exceptional, simply. There's a disc brake. You can see one here in the front, and there's similar a disc brake here in the rear side. They work fantastic. No need to change anything there. They really get the bike stopped. Suspension here is adjustable on this one, so under the seat here you actually have a little tool that fits into these holes, and you can adjust the preload of the spring. So if you are a heavier rider or a lighter rider, you can adjust the spring setting so that it fits just to your weight and size. But all in all, yeah, it's a belt drive. Now we are here, you can see it's got belt drive instead of a chain. That means less to maintain there, so that's a good thing. The new model here comes with an option where you can get a key fob instead of a regular key. I chose a version with a regular key. I like to have a real key, so I can both take it out of the ignition, but I can also lock here with the steering, so you can't turn the steering handle. That makes it hard to steal it. So I
really hope that you enjoyed this little review of the Iron 883 from Harley Davidson. It's an awesome motorcycle, I think. I really look forward to put a ton of miles on this one. For me, it's basically my work tool, because living as full-time RVers and travelers, going from state to state every third month, my job is to make these kind of videos here on YouTube, and the motorcycle for me is a very essential tool. So I'm looking forward to use it a lot, and I hope that this video has been inspiring to some other people that are looking at this model here as well. So if you like the video, remember to click the like button and also the subscribe, so that you get announced about upcoming new videos here from Six Wheels Down. Thank you for watching.